Hey guys, Linx here, and I'm back with another anime review. Today I want to review Violet Evergarden, and it appears that I can't create a review without offering in some spoilers, so I apologize in advance if you don't want a couple things to be spoiled, then I would not watch this review. Anyway, let's get into it. So I just finished watching Violet Evergarden, and I honestly wanted to give a review and sort of my thoughts on it. I know that lots of other people have talked about it, but I just kind of wanted to give my own viewpoint before watching too many other reviews and information from other individuals. I still have yet to watch the OVA, and I'm going to do that, but I just wanted to get out my general thoughts at first. Violet Evergarden tells the tale of an orphan girl who has lost her arms in the war, who spent her entire life serving orders under her major. And the story follows after he is out of the picture and she's taken to the Evergarden household to start a new life. Lied to at first about where the major is, considering everyone believes that he is missing in action and died in war. She is led to believe that he's still out there somewhere, and she is told to try to make a new life for herself as an Auto Memories doll. Violet wants to become an Auto Memories doll so that she can learn the meaning of I love you, some of the last words that the major had said to her. Having been in the military so long, she doesn't really understand a variety of emotions, and at first people are very unsure of whether she can make it as an Auto Memories doll, since they have to understand the feelings of other individuals and be able to write them out in letters. But she grows throughout the story. The first thing I wanted to talk about was just the art and animation. Everything in this show looks extraordinary. It's beautiful. From the crying to just the character designs in general and the backgrounds and all the little touches. Everything just is gorgeous, especially the characters' eyes. I feel like the characters have very beautiful, vibrant eyes, and accessories like the brooch were done very well with their shining, and everything is just so polished and beautiful looking. And I feel like there aren't very many other anime that capture that as well as this one does. To me, one of the most beautiful anime I've ever watched is Kyokai no Kanata, and now I'm starting to debate if Violet Evergarden is better because it just looks so extremely nice. Another thing I really like about this show is that it actually develops its main character. The main character doesn't remain flat. She learns as she goes. It feels like every side character has a purpose. Even though we don't get to know a ton about the side characters, which I don't usually like about a show when we're offered all these characters and we don't get a deeper backstory, each of them had some backstory, even if it wasn't a ton, and all of them were sort of pieces in her life that helped her move along and learn things about friendship and love and kindness. And they left an impact in her life that taught her how to feel and how to express her emotions. All of them had a purpose in the end, so I just loved what happened with that. And Violet goes from being a very expressionless person to finally understanding what love is and crying, smiling, feeling from the bottom of her heart, and eventually being able to write letters of her very own. So I'm really happy with how it progressed throughout the entirety. I loved the setup for this anime and the points that it conveys throughout. There were so many episodes that got me extremely emotional and crying. It has just a very special way of touching people's hearts and really arousing sympathy. I couldn't help but cry throughout very many episodes because it's an anime that tackles concepts of death and does it very well. It seems like throughout the anime there's a story for everyone that maybe each person can relate to. Violet losing the most important person to her in her life, a child losing their mother, a father losing his wife and daughter. There are all of these different stories that just are so impactful. Everybody at one point or another experiences death within their lives, and it's hard and it's difficult to move on. But this anime shows how even after death, people have to keep moving on, and it's sad and they'll never forget. But these characters continue living no matter the circumstances. And going through these things, learning how to handle death, in the end, we see how it really has affected Violet. She goes from feeling like the Major is alive to still feeling like he has to be out there somewhere, but mourning his death and this loss in her life. I always get kind of irritated at an anime that withholds important information from the main character, such as what Hajins did when he decided to lie to her about the Major still being alive. It always irritates me because I know that that's just going to lead to a point where the main character goes through a struggle. But the more I reflect on it, the more I feel like it was necessary for him to do so for her to even have wanted to continue living. I feel like I can understand all of the motives of the characters, see where they're coming from, because if Violet had known previously, she wouldn't have gone through all of these things, become stronger, and found a reason to continue living in life working as an Auto Memories doll. But by giving her that setup in life and giving her a purpose to seek after, she's able to find a reason to continue living. And even though hearing that the Major is dead really impacts her and makes it hard for her to want to continue on, she's already had those experiences and met so many people that matter to her. And so it's easier for her to try to move on, knowing that there are people that are going to keep supporting her. This anime sets everything up for a reason. Every person she encounters leaves an impact on her life, and that's shown really well in an episode where she's walking around and sees the faces of people that she's helped just throughout town as they're becoming successful and happy in their lives. It's like symbolism that she too can achieve this happiness. And so I feel like the anime is just written extraordinarily well to tie everything together like that. And all of these emotions and all this buildup, it just makes it such an amazing anime. By the end of it, our lead has grown, and the audience, I feel, really comes to love her and hope for the best for her as everything goes along. So to see her finally accept her feelings and blossom in the end is extraordinarily rewarding, and it makes the anime feel like it was worth the watch for sure. And I'm definitely going to recommend this to anybody who hasn't seen it yet. It also has an open ending, which is something that I usually don't like in an anime because I hate having to try to interpret things, because it means that maybe this happened, but maybe it didn't. There's also a certain beauty to it, though. In the end, Violet has an urgent job, she's told, and she goes off to meet the person. At first, she doesn't see their face, and she gives her introduction, but then she stops and has one of the most genuine smiles I've seen on her face throughout the whole anime. And so everybody's wondering, could this be Gilbert after all? Could he be alive? Even Hajin said that they could not identify his body or find it anywhere, and all they found was his tags. So I'm sort of wondering if maybe the Major is alive, and perhaps he stayed away because Violet needed to have this growth. If she had stayed by his side, I don't know if he could have taught her things the same as she learned in her own experience working and going all these different places. She probably would have just continued to follow his orders. And so I'm wondering if it is him. I think that that would be a really beautiful, sweet ending, but I would also be accepting of him just being dead, because this whole anime seems to be about moving on from that, finding who you are as a person even after somebody important to you is gone. But even if he was there, that would also make me extraordinarily happy, because she's gone through all this growth, she's learned to accept it, and so if he was reintroduced to her life, maybe she could finally say some things that she hasn't been able to tell him. I really wanted her in her letter to end it with "I love you too," but I also thought that it was sweet that she said she knows what "I love you" means, I just think that it would be really adorable to hear her tell the Major that she loves him too, and that she learned a lot from being with him. And to be able to speak to him again and tell him about all this time that she spent away from him, and just how she's grown and become a fine young woman. I believe this anime is going to be getting another season, if I recall correctly, and I'm really hoping for that. I would definitely watch another one, and if Gilbert came back in that anime, that would be really extraordinary. But who knows? As the anime stands now, I think that it's great and doesn't really need any change. And so I hope that a second season, if it happens, would do it justice, because everything was tied together so beautifully, and I would be happy with leaving the anime how it is right now. This anime, I feel, is worth the watch for anyone, and I really hope that more people get into this anime because it's just so impactful. It left me so breathless and emotional at points, and I feel like not just any story can leave me in tears like that, can get so many people, an entire fan base, so emotional. So I definitely highly recommend this anime. It's gorgeous, it tells a great story, there's amazing development, and just everything is so breathtaking and beautiful. I can't even find the words for it. And that completes my review of Violet Evergarden. It truly is a fantastic anime, and I hope that people who haven't picked it up yet will do so. I'm very excited. I'm hoping for a second season, but honestly, I feel like it's kind of perfect how it is now, and I love how it ended, and it would be great if it stayed just how it is. But I heard that there was a second season, as far as my knowledge goes, so I'm just hoping it'll live up to the first one. Anyway, that's it for this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more content, leave suggestions for what you'd like to see next, and I'll see you in the next video, hopefully. Goodbye.